It's North American time, guys, as we hop into Cognitive Gaming versus Cloud9 G2a. Before we even look at anything here, DM, give me a prediction.
I mean, I got to take Cloud9.
Yeah?
Two games. I think this one's going to be quick. COG has been working their way pretty well through their, rush into the SPL. I think they made it in just barely, but these are the world champions here, and they might have a good laning phase because that's what we see from most teams that aren't quite at top level. But when it gets to 15 minutes and it needs to start being team fights, I'm just kind of expecting that the world champions, who you'll see in just a second here, are going to take this one cleanly.
Yeah, Cloud9 looks very, very good so far going in. They've only lost so far to TSM, right? TSM is their only loss. Omega, Aninster, Bara. Really, my main focal point of this entire team is Jeff Hinla. Jeff Hinla in that series versus TSM, he got caught a lot and he got just punished for it. But it wasn't that he was getting caught. It was just they just decided, well, if we blow up Jeff Hinla, no one else is going to do anything because they have no peel. So whatever.
I'm expecting a much more early game focus coming out from Cloud9 this time, looking at Andy, which means there's going to be invades. But with that, let's take a look at the new Cognitive Gaming.
Now, Cognitive Gaming, this team reminds a lot of people of the beginning of COG Red. Snoopy, who are now known as TSM, they're really good at securing objectives. They just don't have that individual skill that's on par with these other teams so far as it seems. But the big thing here is that they control objectives very well, and they're very good as a team.
I would actually go in the opposite direction. I think their individual skill is a little bit more of their strength, and it's their team fight. I think, I
don't think so.
I guess we're going to find out.
Well, we will find out. I'm just saying, based on, last week when I was looking at it, I was like, they did really good at doing
Who did they fight last
Furies. Week? Fair. Well.
Not Cloud9.
Well, we'll get to see the big hole, right?
Okay.
We'll get to see what it is. So, anyways, make sure you guys are joining the conversation with us throughout these matches. Hashtag SPL the entire time. Tweet at Smite Pro. Let them know what's going on. But the big thing here for you guys at home, since we love you, we have giveaways throughout this entire match.
That's right. So make sure you're paying attention to what Gandhi says. Otherwise, you miss them.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm not going to tell you about it.
No. I don't even tell them about it most of the time either.
Switch it. They'll never know.
All right, well, without further ado, I think we are ready for picks and bans here. So, COG versus Cloud9. Cloud9, first time matching up against their former brand. Let's see how they come out.
It looks like first pick option going to go to COG here. Cloud9 going to be in the second pick seat. First option here, I assume this is going to be a mage ban. I assume that they're going to try to target stealth.
Do they go stealth bans, or do you go Aninster bans?
No, they're going to hit Thor. Okay.
Aninster is a mechanical guru. In the sense of Smite.
I've talked about this a few times, but have you ever played ranked against Andy?
No, I'm not.
Andy's always top elo, and Andy doesn't ban. He doesn't ban characters. He goes, I don't care what the other team gets. And then he'll pick Guan Yu jungle. He goes, I don't know if it works. I'm going to try it. And then he wins anyway because he's Andy, right? But that's how he plays. His god pool is infinite.
Yeah.
He plays mages, he plays assassins, he plays warriors. You cannot ban him out. So taking away Thor, I think that's actually just stripping away stuff from COG.
Yeah. So, Sylvanas, down he goes. They don't want to deal with that. Jeff Hinla on Sylvanas. We saw it at Worlds. Most importantly, we saw it at Regionals.
I love the support ban here because for me, the targeted player is Jigs. Limit his god pool, shut him down, and their team fight will melt.
Yep. Serket's going to be taken away as well. Option over. We'll see who they will get. Probably
Athena.
Probably Athena, yeah.
Oh, wow. No, Arachne gets locked out there.
See, this is what I'm talking about with the Arachne. So, what's very important to note behind closed doors, Cloud9, TSM, and Cognitive Gaming all kind of scrim together. That's kind of the trio, and COG kind of gets a little bit of the scrim, so they're familiar with what TSM and Cloud9 prioritize.
With that, though, Athena's on the board. Anhur's on the board as well for kind of your S-tier picks, and then you also have Bastet. So there's still a lot, and Bastet going to get locked in here. Really strong duo picks for Cloud9 should they choose to take him.
Yeah, scary. Very, very scary. You don't want to have Barracuda on her. That's something we learned at Worlds. You don't give it to him. And with Athena picked here, Athena and Anhur, I would be very surprised if they don't grab him right here just because that's Barra's god. When we were talking about the skins, I was like, oh, it's going to be Anhur Barracuda.
Yeah,
right?
Barracuda brought Anhur back to the point where all other hunters looked non-viable in Season 1, aside from like AMC, who could be maybe the counter to Anhur, right, as we saw last week as well. But the top-tier duo lane gets locked in there. Cloud9 looking real strong in picks. Rama going to be locked away here. Now, this is a god that I think does decently in the matchup, still has decent clear. I would love to see the Ataraxia build as well. I mean, that build was
I don't know if anyone else is going to be doing that anytime soon. Remember the Pythagorean's piece coming out of Freya before at the EU regionals, and then at NA regionals we didn't see it at all.
Yeah.
And we didn't even see it out of Allied, who that's his girl.
Well, Geb and Rama get locked in here. Option back for Cloud9. I'm expecting a mage here. They can save their jungler still after ban, given the fact that Andy's pool is infinite, but there are still a few choice picks still available. So it could go either way. I am expecting, however, that we're going to see the solo laner picked last.
Hunbatz gets locked in. Yeah, that's not a shocker at all. Cloud9, there's one thing Anster loves. He loves gods. He can either jump in and kill you instantly or just CC monsters. And Fear No Evil on Anster mixed with Athena taunts, you're just basically looking for Jeff Hindler to pop the beads of cognitive gaming, and then Hunbatz come in and just deliver the big Fear No Evil.
With that, back into the ban phase, Poseidon gets taken away. Option over, of course, to Cognitive Gaming. Again, I assume they're going to try to take a shot at Stealth here. You really can't hit Omega. He loves Warriors. He plays all of them, and they're all still remaining, so it's going to be hard there. I am expecting that we're going to see a Warrior matchup, though, as both Meerkat and Omega tend to favor it. And, wow, Kukulkan gets banned. Okay. All right.
Yeah, turn up. Turn up. Whirlwind. Dude, I get it. Whirlwind, screw that.
Scylla, Agni, and Janus still on the table here for Cloud9. I'm expecting one of them. Yeah, Scylla gets locked in.
That's the girl. That is Stealth's girl.
All right, so real quick. Agni or Isis. I don't think we're going to see her when plays Janus. He never does it, and when he does it, generally doesn't work out. And I don't know if 1 week is going to be enough time to really get him back to where he would need to be, at least in shape enough to fight Cloud9.
Well, there's your answer.
I didn't give you enough time. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't. Yeah, you really hung that one out there for a long time.
He was going to say Agni.
Yeah. Well, it's not your fault. You can't predict how fast they're going to lock in. Okay? so Isis will help them a lot here. Looking at it, both teams have pretty good mid-harpy control, as Tyr is going to go ahead and get picked up
Warrior
as
number
well.
1.
Yep.
And here comes Warrior number 2.
So
Chalk or Hercules?
Chalk, Hercules, Vamana, maybe.
Oh, Vamana.
It's Omega. Omega, every god we just named is Omega's favorite gods to play.
That's true.
Besides Bakasura, which we saw him eat through Divios, which Baka's not banned, actually. No. This is Baka.
I think he's going to go Warrior. I don't think they're going to want Baka and Hunbatz on the same team. It's a little bit too squishy. Yeah, they're going to go Hercules. They're looking for frontline dominance.
It's just so... Looking at it from the team aspect, it makes sense. But as an individual, you would be a fool to say that, just don't go Baka when you destroyed Divios, who's accepted as the best tier player.
Take a look at the matchups here. Athena versus Geb, right? Athena's stronger. Anhur versus Rama. Anhur stronger. Hunbatz versus Bastet. I think that Bastet's stronger. Some of the community thinks that there's a pretty even matchup there. Hunbatz, but you got to consider the junglers. Andy's going to win that. Stealth, Scylla, and then Omega's Hercules. Front to back, this looks like a winning lineup here for Cloud9, and I'm expecting a pretty early win here from the world champions.
Wow. DM calling it how he sees it. Taking a look at the starting items here, nothing out of the ordinary. 3 Hand of the Gods for both teams. Will we see the invade come out of Cloud9? That is the real question.
An early timeout there, going to be thrown away real quick as COG gets reset. It looks like Cloud9 going to be very smart about their start here as Omega places down the speed ward, my favorite ward in the game. This will spot out not only what the jungle and the solo intend to start with, but it will spot out their builds as well. Now, we, of course, already have that information, and it's going to be a pretty obvious start from both of the solo laners as you see the Hand of the Gods, the ward, the Bluestone, and the pot come out.
Look at this ward from Cognitive Gaming right by the mid-harpies, which is going to tell them if Cloud9 decides to invade right through the mid-harpies. That's a ward that we haven't really seen that's right on the opposite side of their red buff.
I'm looking at Meerkat right now, and he has not very much gold spent. Bluestone Pendant, right? 800. We're going to see another 300 from Hand of the Gods, another 200 in healing potions, right? So that puts us at 13, and then he had 1 ward. So that, to me, is going to put him still with about 150 gold in hand.
Yeah.
So why?
I don't know.
Curious.
Maybe he was rushed out. I mean, who knows?
Otherwise, normal meta start coming out across the map there. I love the way it was getting tanked on the bottom side for Cog. He's going to get Isis to lane very quickly, but of course, MLC Stealth and the boys on Cloud9 were just a little bit quicker on all fronts there, and all lanes will wind up red before blue.
Now, this is one of the crazy things about Stealth on Scylla is he's pretty much this god at this point, and one thing he loves to do is throw down the crush to just control the lane as much as possible. But speaking of controlling the lane as much as possible, Cloud9 versus Cog. We're taking a look at both junglers looking at one another. Does Batz see him? I'm assuming he does, but there's no kill potential here. Anhur's going to jump in, tag this wave up, and really start to help Stealth.
That was greedy.
There's one thing we know about Anhur. He loves babysitting Stealth.
That's true. I mean, realistically, if you're going to pick someone to babysit, babysitting Stealth is the best idea just because, I mean, if you go back to the World Championships, Scylla ended those games. I mean, the I'm a Monsters, allowing him to set up the way that he wants to is the best possible thing you could do for this team.
Yeah, which he doesn't have as much setup. You know, at the SWC we saw Thor and Sylvanas, but he does have the taunt from Athena, which is going to really help him. So looking at this, Cog has to be very careful. Jeff Hinla taking a lot of damage here, but it's
Stealth's dead. Oh my god, he's alive. The potion keeping him alive just barely. Got down to below 40 health there when the final tick, of course, of Bastet's Razor Whip falls off. Same thing over on left side. Jeff getting pushed back pretty hard there. Barracuda and Jeff getting kind of handled.
Yeah, so far. Now, Isis should be winning this laning matchup throughout the entire game until 10 minutes. For the record. I mean, Wingus, Scylla doesn't really have any answer to that.
Wow, I'm seeing a lot of damage. And he hits level 5, though. Herwin taking a lot. MLC Stealth going to try to jump in here. He's looking for the Sikkim. Herwin jukes it, but unfortunately puts himself in a bad situation to do it. Cloud9 takes an easy first blood. First
blood goes to MLC Stealth there, getting him up and ready as fast as humanly possible. Anhur committing so much. He got that point, turn level 5, hit the Fear No Evil. No way Scylla was going to have beads off the start.
Oh my god, the Impale. Beautiful shot there to Famous Hate in what was originally a great matchup here for Famous Hate, considering the health has been evened out entirely as Barracuda gets a huge slam there.
Now this is huge. They're shoving this lane right now because these mid-harpies are coming up. Look at Jeff Hinla. He's already there. He's going to be waiting on it. This is a perfect play from Cloud9. In comes Cogs Jigs, just rotating in. Battle of the Hand of the Gods, the knock-up. It goes to Cognitive Gaming. The Cats come down as well. Misses everything, though. And they're going to get away without getting a kill. They were able to secure one set of Harpies. Now it'll be all about the right side.
Hand of the Gods is going to be down for Jigs here, so we're really looking towards Mask, whose Hand of the Gods is coming up in 3 seconds. But no, Cloud9's going to take it. Eyes on Jeff Hinla, getting very low. Dodges a big shot there. Stealth might be able to do some damage, but no, they clean him up a 1-for-1.
Yep. Objective control, DM. Huh?
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. Bastet jumps in, pokes, gets out. One thing it's safe to say is that Fear No Evil's out again. Herwin's in a lot of trouble. Down he goes. I'm a Monster resets, waiting for it. He's got it again. Doesn't have quite the damage. Waiting for it. One more auto attack. Anhur cleans it up. Cloud9 shows why they are the world champions.
Yeah, it's like, hey, here you guys go. Here's our support for these mid camps, and then we'll get our support right back in here because we know you're going to be greedy and hang around. They're going to take 2 cleanly. Over in the right side, Meerkat taking the boulder to the face there as the wave gets pushed cleanly once again by Omega. Golden Hand right now is about even here for the solo laners, as you'll see Omega head back to buy what seems like full boots.
Yeah, full boots. Now, Omega loves going teleport. Do you think we're going to see the teleport come out on him with Hercules as well?
Man, I just am such a big proponent of Shield of the Underworld right now.
Well, as everyone should be.
I really hope that he makes the transition here because as well as teleport can help him being able to rotate and gain multiple health bars in team fights, Shield of the Underworld can straight up end fights.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen an Isis look at somebody when Shield of the Underworld's up and she's just like, there is nothing I can do about this?
I haven't.
It's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Granted, same thing across the way. If Scylla activates I'm a Monster and you activate Shield of the Underworld as a tank, you're like, please, by all means.
Yep. Speaking of Scylla here, Shoes of the Magi will be finished. Now,
fan.
It seems to be the logical choice just because Scylla's known for burst. Yeah, you don't care about cooldown reduction with her. That's what your teammates are there for the peel.
To be fair, that's what we said about Poseidon. We saw a lot of cooldown boots yesterday and a lot of Krakens that weren't finishing off their opponents.
Yeah, which is, again, Shoes of the Magi, right?
Yeah.
He didn't have it. So when someone like Boosh, who did build it, Krakens did a lot of damage. So the whole point of this is that this is Stealth's build. Stealth will go Shoes of the Magi, and the next item he's going to build is a Warlock Sash. Every single time, doesn't matter. He has the same build for everyone.
And it's great because it's tanky, right? And that's how Stealth plays. He's going to put himself in the front line. He's going to be in danger. Even with Andy peeling, he's a very prime target to be able to take down, considering the fact that if Scylla gets started, the game could be just over, right? Uh-oh. Meerkat.
Oh, he got the ball.
Trouble. And look at that. The beads were too late there. And Omega waited half a second to make sure they went down. Hercules, for the third time this game's going to fall. And he is getting just shut down.
Look at that rotation coming out of Omega. Who's going to expect that Hercules is going to rotate over at pre-6 minutes from the solo lane? No one. That's who. No.
Left side, mid camp's freely going to Cloud9 here.
Yeah, that's free. And they also have the timer on the right. Wouldn't be surprised to see Anhur. They're going to go for the sandwich as well. Anhur going directly for the fight. He's not worried at all. Meerkat blinks in. He's got the juggle on Andy. Do they have the damage for it? They don't. The taunt comes in. Oh, Fear No Evil will keep him alive a bit, but not a whole lot, as now Stealth goes, well, my teammates are going to die. I'm just going to get the Harpies. I'm getting out of here. I need help. Everyone rotate to me.
Meerkat a little bit quicker on the rotation there than Omega, who is now in a bit of trouble here. Cat's going to be used. Yeah, that's going to be a kill. Omega pays for his greed there off the late rotation, trying to get a... He put his hand in just too many cookie jars.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to get caught.
He did great, right? He got the early kill, and then he decided that he was going to go, and he wanted to not miss out on experience. But look at this. Cog starting up the Gold Fury. This is very early. Jeff Hinla, he's in a position to contest this. Stealth's going to be here as well. Oh, Meerkat missing, but it doesn't matter. Cog gets the early Gold Fury. Stealth dropping. Mask, is he going to dive? He could be in trouble with the jump. Good job, Mask.
Yeah, just barely getting out there is MLC Stealth. You see him sitting at about 350, actually no, lower than that, 240 health. He's going to be jumping back to base here in just a second, probably right after this. But, you know, this for me, this is where I think Cognitive is going to win. As a newer team, you're going to spend most of your time scrimming and most of your time playing casual games. You're going to be doing the laning phase every time. It's not common that a newer team is going to do well in the end game against such a veteran lineup because they just don't have the same level of practice. But so far, they've been faring pretty well here, and if they can continue this line of pressure going into the end game, especially with the small lead they have in gold, there's a good chance they might be able to bring this long enough to find a pretty clean win.
Yep, 3-4 here. Taking a look. Tyr getting ready to go into Runeforged Hammer. Both warriors doing the exact same thing. Anhur poking him down, just trying to whittle as best he can. He teleports to the monkey. And this has been a three-man stacking in mid really since 3 minutes. They care so much about having this mid control to rotate. Omega has now committed as well. He's looking for a pull here. He is going to get spotted out, though, by Tyr.
He grabs a ward there, but his the sentry ward actually ran out of time right before the third hit connected, so he doesn't gain the vision advantage there. Crush going to be used overall. Yeah, we're still seeing this almost ARAM style of play coming down in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's completely worth. They got Jiggs' Cataclysm. There was no follow-up from his team. Looks like a little bit of a miscommunication here as Famous Hate will just be able to clean up this wave. So Famous Hate is naturally going to be at a disadvantage versus Anhur in this early laning phase.
Wow, I was looking at Omega there. He rotates over to try to three-way split the camp. Might have been a little late there. Stealth, though, hitting level 11 compared on the bottom side to Herwin, level 9. But we should consider him 10 in this engagement, considering the fact that by the time he gets his red buff, he will be leveled up. And
wow.
Of course, that has already... Actually, no, that has not happened over on the top side. So, wow, no, just a clean 2-level advantage here for Stealth.
Similar builds coming out for both mid laners. The big difference, though, is that the Aegis has been bought by Isis. That's really just to avoid, at all costs, the I'm a Monster. Jiggs now, they're looking for it. He starts it up, hits the knock up. They were able to secure it. Here comes Mask. Can he get the kitty cats down? Spirit Ball's going to miss.
Jeff has got to stop trying to challenge Geb. Shockwave is the best mid-camp control like in the game as a regular ability. You just hit the Shockwave close range, and it almost always puts them, at least in the early game, into Threshold for Hand of the Gods, and that's what's happened every time.
Omega, luckily for him, he's Hercules, so he's still alive, but he got hit by everything, and that's both Harpies going to Cognitive Gaming.
Wow, yeah. I mean, this is right now kind of, to me, Jeff Hinla is not having the same level of presence that we thought he would. Omega is going to be going teleport. He goes right back over towards the right side. That's going to be a 4-minute teleport, and he needs to use this as cleanly as possible. Considering we're seeing Meerkat run over towards the mid lane, even if they get this tower, I don't understand what it's going to do in terms of being able to help them in the, you know.
This is a bad fight. Athena's coming in. The taunt should be there in any second. She's only able to grab Jigs, though. I'm a Monster's going to hit barely anyone. And now the Lawbringer's going in. He wants Scylla. If there's one thing Tier's good at, it's eating mages. Beats hit as well. In comes a Boulder. The Boulder misses everyone. And now Cog is staring down the eyes of Cloud9 saying, that's all you got?
No, for me, I really like that Boulder from Omega because I don't think it was intended to do damage. He wanted to clear that wave safely to stop the pressure, and that's exactly what happened.
Red buff going to Heroin. That's actually a really good point, too. I never thought about that, but that's why you're the analyst guy. Love you like a sister.
It's one of the best reasons to really pick the characters. Boulder has such safe wave clear. I mean, if Ra can do it, granted the cooldown is a lot shorter, why not Hercules, right?
Yeah. Barracuda trying to poke at Famous 8 here. His teammates are rotating. Famous 8!
I don't think he's
Don't take the bait, bro. Don't take this bait. Oh, and insert. This is clean. This is a Fear No Evil here in just a second. Force the ultimate up. And now look at them. They're just waiting.
3, 2, 1. See you later, buddy.
Rip. That's all. I mean, to be fair, he really didn't need to waste the Fear No Evil.
No, you know what? I like it. Don't give him any chance to get away. Gold Fury's not coming up for another 30 seconds. I mean, it might not be back up, but being able to shut down the Rama now I think is really important.
Yeah, very, very, very important. Which, I mean, Anhur already stomps Rama in the laning phase. There's just, I mean, what can Rama do? I mean, his clear's worse than Anhur. Anhur has more ability damage as well.
He can outbox him thanks to the fact that he has penetration in the kit. I mean,
yeah, it's a very, very hard matchup right now for Rama. So getting him either further behind is good, delays him from coming online. So Cognitive Gaming, they've looked great at securing objectives. They've forced good fights, but they haven't won the big team fights.
Gold Fury right now just has come back, and it looks like we are seeing a grouping here from Cloud9, although Omega will not be able to rotate just yet. He does have about 100 seconds left on his teleport. Yeah,
a little bit of difference here between the support builds. We're seeing Gab's going to roll out straight into the Sovereignty. On the other side, though, Wingblade coming out on Jeff Hinla. Mid-Harpies are up, though. Mask was able to get him.
Mask, though, just used a level 1 Hand of the Gods. That's 90 seconds when the Gold Fury is still available. This might come back to haunt him if they try to rush and burn this down. He's going to need that 480 true burst damage to really help his team secure it. Mid-camps, of course, are very important, but with this, they need to make sure that that Gold Fury doesn't get started for at least another 80.
Now, they know that both solo laners are going to go to their respected lane. Why? Because blue buff's coming up. There's one thing every solo laner fantasizes about is getting every single blue buff.
I mean, and it looks like both of them are going to do the same
thing.
I know, right?
Just
back up to their own. They'll use their own Hand of the Gods as well. Andy picking up the speed buff will rotate over, it seems, to be able to split the blue, so a small advantage there for Cloud9.
Mask is going to be a little bit late to her speed buff there, but it shouldn't be too bad. I was a little bit worried. I saw Anhur and I go, oh, God, are they really going to go for this invade? Which is something that we saw all throughout Season 1 at the NA Regionals, was invade their jungle at all times and steal everything from them.
Omega right now going even here with Mask. You can see the mitigate wounds has been popped, or I'm sorry, with Meerkat. You can see the mitigate wounds has been popped, which prompts Meerkat to stop fighting. 17 seconds left on the teleport, which means he's going to be walking back to lane and trying to utilize that to travel across the map as fast as possible. With this, Meerkat might be in a bit of trouble here as it gets time for Gold Fury. He can't rotate cleanly.
Everyone's going to be in trouble here because the big difference in this team fight of Cloud9 is a little bit late to the action is that they're going to have Hercules because his teleport's up, so they have to be worried about that one.
Meerkat now choosing to back here. I'm expecting the same build pretty much. Yeah, he's going to go directly into the mace. With that, we'll take a look at the golden hand here. A small, and I mean very small advantage there for Hercules as he is a bit closer to picking up that Jotun's Wrath.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing with Scylla versus Isis right now. Scylla finishing Warlock/Isis, not yet, and that's mainly because she's been flirting with this Gold Fury for so long. Oh, Jigs is going to blink in. Cataclysm's going to hit too. Meerkat's going to miss a little bit there. Jeff Hinla's going to hit a 3-man taunt. He's in trouble. Down goes Jeff Hinla. Hand 3 down. Gold Fury started. Ball in Cognitive's court. Will Cloud9 answer?
Not really
Circle
sure
of protection here as well.
Not really sure how we just saw a faster rotation coming out from tier than we did the Hercules with the teleport.
Yeah.
Very, very greedy is Omega, not using the teleport, trying to save it because he thought possibly just going to the tier 1 and mid wasn't enough there, but he pays for his greed, and it cost him 1,500 gold.
Yeah, rolling out into the mid lane here. They're going to just shove this lane. We might see him try to take this tier 1. Not likely, but it might happen. As Famous Hate's just going to shove this wave. They have Mask on the side. Bastet, is she going to go for the pounce here on Anhur? The worst part about facing off against a Batz is that he has so many escapes.
Well, Fear No Evil still available here. Should he choose to go in, might be able to keep them off the tower, but it doesn't look like he'll be able to save it. Another 500 gold added to the coffers for Cognitive Gaming.
Wow, Jeff Hinley's going to get caught again. He's going to lose some, but they look to be turning this. Fear No Evil comes in. He's on Jigs. Anhur still on Geb. That's a one dead Geb. And now Barracuda forced all the way out. He had no peel, but it doesn't matter. They're trying to turn the fight. Mid-Harpies finally go to Cloud9. Anhur not done. RNG hits the crit. Still looking. Teleports to him. Overhand smash is good. Now, Omega finally joining the fight as well. He's got a peel. The body block's good. A driving strike is better. This is looking great for Cloud9.
No, actually, Meerkat finding the Lawbringer. Andy turning around, getting a little bit greedy. Doesn't find the teleport, meaning he actually gets hit by the Lawbringer with that mask. Rather, Meerkat should be able to jump out of this one.
Andy stayed?
Again, Omega super late to the fight. We're not having any presence here from the Cloud9 solo laner.
Andy stayed?
Yeah, well,
I
he didn't really stay so much as he tried to turn around and throw one more shot out. Meerkat read it and found the kill.
Man, it looked great. I mean, Omega, yeah, sure, he was a little bit late to that team fight, but I mean, he knocked him up. He drove the tier in, who was in the main spot to kill Anhur.
Here's the problem, though, is that 2 gold Furies right now for Cognitive, right?
Yeah.
But they don't have the experience difference, and there's less than 3,000 gold to separate the teams, which means their farm still not on the same level.
Yep. Omega throws the boulder down, clearing it out. Meerkat forced all the way back to his tower. Probably going to go back and buy here. Jotun's Wrath could be available. Mask is going to jump in here. Jump. It's only cosmetic, but everyone with ADHD spams it. Do you spam it?
Sometimes. Yeah. Depends. Plays.
Yeah.
When plays.
When plays?
When plays. Top side, Anhur going to be able to split away that speed buff, giving some extra experience there to MLC Stealth, level 15 right now. MLC has been kind of the focal point. Wow, Anhur going very, very deep here. Going to be stunned out immediately and forced to jump away. With that, Andy notes that there's pretty much nothing else for him to do for a while, so he'll take his time heading back to the base, albeit not with a lot of gold in hand.
Well, that is fascinating.
What you got?
Height of the Urchin is going to be getting started up here on Geb, which we barely ever see that much deviation in support builds, ever. We'd see Heartward Amulet.
That, to me, is a very cocky play here, considering the fact that their gold lead isn't that big. A support's going to be looking for a major amount of kills and assists, especially when Jigs has generally been the focal point of the deaths here. He is sitting at 2, along with 3 coming out from Herwind. But, I mean, he's been picked off a lot. He has to be alive, or at least within 10 seconds of a kill to make sure he gets a point.
Well, Anhur, he's on Mask. Fear No Evil was good. He's got the chase. The cats are going to be a little bit better, though. Mask. Taunt is going to miss him as well. He's on Anhur. He has the damage. He's got to be careful. Cloud9's there. There's the Sikkim. There's the Crush. Waiting on it. He's got the heal. Now he gets out as Omega again fighting on the backside.
Yeah, Omega again not having the level of presence that Meerkat does. Really just not showing up to the fights early enough, it seems, despite the fact that he's the one with the teleport. 1-1, though, has a decent advantage here, but it's all about stealth right now with the big carry. 303. The issue still behind Isis.
Yep. The taunt comes down. Mask has the Geb shield. Spirit Ball barely missing. Mask going deep. His teammates say, "Hey, get out of there. We're not with you. You gotta get pulled back a little bit, bud."
Famous 8 going for some damage. All 3 shots not going to land there. Juking is MLC Stealth, and the final shot actually aimed to Barracuda, but a little bit off the mark. No damage coming out. Mask trying to make a play there, but it looks like that one's going to Barra.
Yeah, it was a good idea, though. Try to take away the purple buff from Barracuda.
There.
Yeah. Always a good idea.
Gold Driving coming up in 20 seconds here.
Yep, driving strike hits up. Omega, since he's going back, we would assume that a ward will go down so he can teleport there, or at least teleport to his tier 1 tower on the dual lane side, since Gold Fury will be up, but we'll see.
strange, we're going to see a very early Warrior's Bane come out from Hercules, so not looking for the mitigate wound style of play, looking more for the driving stike style of play. And with that, you got to note that he already had some penetration, so he's only going to be doing some real bonus damage to players like Geb.
Oh no, barely missing the Cataclysm. Stealth lives. The taunt was good. Mask is going to stop chasing that.
Stealth Time of Monster, though, is on cooldown. He's going to head back to the base, and with the Gold Fury up once again, Cognitive might be in a great opportunity to go for this one. Barracuda's there, but what can one Lion do against 5 men?
Roar. Right?
Yeah.
Theoretically. Meerkat looking. He's got the blink. Barely misses it, though. As now Anhur will jump away. Gold Fury gets reset. They didn't want this. Oh, Jake's got pulled. He got impaled as well. Lawbringer here as well.
Nice boulder.
Boulder's going to hit a bunch. He's still on Geb. Where's the callouts? They got to have some damage. Famous Hate's going to get out of here.
Oh, Stealth there. That's a big kill. That's guaranteed right there. Jig's going down. Nothing they can really do about this one. With that, you got to love the way that Andy played that, just because throwing the monkey toss right there at the Gold Fury guaranteed the follow-up. He didn't have to aim it. He 100% secures the kill, but it still goes to Barracuda. Gold Fury, first one of the game there for Cloud9, and somehow with it have almost normalized the goal difference.
Yep. It's 2-1 here.
Herwin.
Look at this. Herwin, you got to get lucky, bro. Not happening.
No abilities
Overhand, smash, rip. This is a tier 1 tower here. They're tanking through it. They might even push for a tier 2.
So here's what's happening, right? Just like we talked about before, Cognitive has a great early game presence. You know, this is what they're practicing the most. But as soon as these players on Cloud9 start getting some more tankiness up, as soon as they're into a point where they can dodge a little bit more because they have, you know, their boots up and possible other movement speed and their actives, it's going to be very, very hard to kill them. In fact, the one kill they almost had was Stealth, but he not only got back to base and got back to the Gold Fury fast enough, but he was instrumental in the fight. MLC Stealth continues his carry path right now at 305.
I was going to be hard on Jeff Hinley at the beginning of the game. His 2 deaths were just him contesting badly and getting caught out, but he's got 6 assists, and the taunts that he's been hitting, you can't put a price on. He's been playing fantastic ever since he got out of that early laning phase.
And you know what's my favorite part about Jeff is he's never shaken. Jeff never goes on tilt, which is almost incredible. If he gets a big taunt like that, it doesn't matter if he's 0 and 100. All you're going to hear is, I got trips, I got trips, I got doubles, right? Every single time that's going to come out of his mouth, and every single time, almost blindly, Stealth will just be ready to follow up with a Crush or a Sikkim. And with that, Cloud9 getting very close to taking the gold lead. It's pretty much normalized. In fact, it is slightly in their favor, but the experience, that's what's crazy.
Whoa. Starting up the Fire Giant here. No. There's no way.
No.
Yeah, you got to stop. Abort,
please.
Abort. Now Meerkat's hit behind enemy lines here. Directly behind.
Anhur.
Wow, the boulder. Wow, the I am a monster as well. Anhur Mask is going to be taken out as well.
Jig's in a lot of trouble here. No matter where he goes, he's going to find someone. Right now, Famous Hate trying to find some shots onto Andy, but he dodges every single one of them. And with that, Jigs will find another death at the hands of Omega.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, you can't put a price on that Crush. Famous Hate will heal some of it up. Omega very greedily will push them back. He's just trying to hold them away from the Gold Fury. They do a lot of damage there. Lawbringer's going to slow him down, but they're getting baited, whether they know it or not.
Oh, yeah. They're getting baited hard. And that was a great job by Omega. But, you know, he would have died a lot sooner if we saw a Hasten Fatalis out of that Hunter.
Meerkat and Famous Hate have got to be feeling foolish. They have got to be yelling in their heads like, I can't believe we just got baited like that. They get a kill onto Omega, but realistically, Hercules is not a character that effectively needs the Fire Giant. Not nearly as much as someone like Batz or someone like Scylla or someone like Anhur, all 3 of which now have it adorned to their self.
Now, Hercules, he's got the Titan's Bane, he's got the Jotuns, he's got the Steel Mail now.
Midgardian.
Midgardian Mail
It's got to
next.
be Midgardian.
Not Mystical?
No, I mean, how much? It's a little bit too late for Mystical. Remember, early game, let's say when you have about 800 health, 40 damage a second mitigated, big deal. But when you have 2,000 health, right, and now it's effectively doing 20, half of what it was doing in the mid-game, comparatively to the fact that if you get Midgardian Mail and that applies to Rama, half his damage is just out the window.
So, one thing that's very interesting here is that Geb, he's got the Height of the Urchin finish. He's had it but he doesn't have a single stack on this item yet, DM.
Like I said, really greedy in the early game. When you buy a Hide of the Urchin, you're saying, my team is destroying, right? We are the utmost. We are going to be getting at least 10 more kills this game with me in them, guaranteed. And right now, I mean, how many minutes ago was that? 7? 8?
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
I mean, they haven't really won any team fights.
They haven't. In fact, the last 2 team fights have been a massacre by the world champions.
Well, speaking of the world champion, Stealth, he's got combat blink on plus double stacking. He is living the dream.
Wow.
And since you do go double stacking, it makes sense to have the combat blink out. This Scylla now is very safe.
That's right. I love combat blink in the current meta. I think it is a almost complete takeover of Aegis from Season 1. I mean, what it gives you is, it's almost invaluable, right? I mean, you get out of a fight as a character who can now use her Sentinel aggressively. Speaking aggressive, though, Jigs goes in to try to save the Tier 2, which he does successfully, but he uses a lot for it, and it looks like Omega not really deterred here. They'll clean this up, likely without using the Crush. That way she can use it for space control. No, actually, wow, they're gonna get real greedy here. 5-on-5 for the Tier 2.
Yep. Barra's joined the fight. Anhur's leading the way. They will now turn and push down the mid lane. They might even just tank it. Probably not, though. They don't want to force that fight. Omega now just kind of stumbling through. Spirit Ball is going to miss. Omega, this is exactly what he does. He has an aura around him which just says, I'm better than you. I dare you to... I dare you to push
It really
me.
is his playstyle. For what he might lack in mechanics or what he might lack, in teamwork, he makes up for the fact that no one ever wants to go near him because he's just too smart.
Yep. Desert Fury goes out, didn't secure a kill. Mass forced to jump back. This is a great fight for Cog. Famous 8, 1, 2, barely missing the 3. Omega able to pick up a kill though. Heroine forced to beads out. Fear No Evil was good. Meerkat, still just this tanky beast. They have the CC.
Stealth grabbed. Oh no, he beats through it. Meerkat got a little bit baited there. Stealth just barely surviving and will be able to live another day with that. Still 4 members of Cloud9 trying to push this down. I expect that they'll retreat here and go for the Gold Fury, but no, they're going to keep at it.
I can't believe they're keeping at this, dude. I mean,
a little bit early there. Oh, wow. Will he teleport? Kind of thought he was going to go in for the shot onto Heroine, but they're going to go deep here. Looks like Meerkat taking a lot of damage, a lot more than I think a tier would expect to.
Wow, Cataclysm was good. This is a great fight for Cog right now. They have the follow-up as well. There is no MLC stealth here. They don't have that mid support, and Inster's able to get one. He's on the backside. He's got to worry. He's got the jump.
Stealth, huge Sikkim, but the Geb Shield will keep him alive, just barely. Famous Hate rolling away here. Andy gonna chuck it in. Beautiful boulder, double kill for Omega.
Oh, man, Meerkat now forced to run away. The cats come out. Crush is good. Fear No Evil's better. Down goes Mask. Tier as well. Wow. Deicide. That's a Tier 2.
That's not only a deicide, but an extended deicide, and still will result in 23 seconds of pure downtime only before Heroine comes up, who is technically one of the weaker members right now in this game. He is sitting 2-6, a very low farm at a little under 11,000. With this, Phoenix gonna go down, and they still got the Gold Fury to go for.
Wow. That's a huge, huge exchange. The best part about this as well is that they're going to be able to guarantee a Gold Fury. They're going to go back. They're going to push down. And the duo lane, which is their next point that they're going to push, is already shoved all the way up pretty much. Like, they don't have to wait on creeps to get there.
Stealth takes away the red buff on the bottom left side, and it looks like we're going to see a Gold Fury by Jeff Hindla here. The only issue is that Fire Giant's coming up in about 3 seconds. Jeff has no way to clear this alone, so Barracuda's going to join him, but it doesn't look like the boys on COG are ready to defend it, nor are they ready to try to rush down the Fire Giant as a result, and with Omega's rotation over, nothing should be lost here. Big win for Cloud9.
So how do you feel about the Bulwark? Do you hate it? Do you love it? I'm personally a huge proponent about it. I just feel that in competitive, it's just so expensive.
For me, you're not really getting use out of the passive. The passive has a very rare application of the damage that's absolutely necessary, right? It's a 50% reduction if you're below 25% health for 1 second. the odds of you taking a blow that's going to result in a difference in that 1 second is astronomical. Now, when this item was 50% for 2 seconds, it got a lot of use. Now, I feel like it's still a good pickup for Hercules because of how much health it gives. For Tyr, however, Tyr doesn't really need a lot of effective health. For me, Tyr can heal up a lot, but it's all base healing, not percentage healing, which means it's a little bit stronger on Hercules thanks to mitigate wounds. But with that, Meerkat's doing everything in his power to try to stay alive at this point.
Oh, barely dodging the knock up there from Hercules. Barracuda watching. This is a great perspective to see exactly how he's going to be playing this. Geb now forced all the way back. They're split up, though.
I would like to see Barra go for
right.
this. I think Barra can solo it with proper tanking. Omega going to be able to heal up all the damage that he just took. Oh yeah, they're kind of getting baited here by this one.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. Fear No Evil is going to send Andy in a 2v1 that he will gladly accept. Famous Hate rotates on him as well, but on the sides, Cloud9's just destroying Barracuda's on Meerkat. He's waiting for the Impale to come up. He gets a 200 crit. Rama's up in the sky. Is he going to jump in? Now.
Another shot to Omega, still sitting well over half health after taking a slew of abilities to start that match. Jig's going to go down here. It's pretty much all eyes on Cloud9 considering there's no execute potential. And watch Omega, making sure that no one's going to be safely walking into this Fire Giant fight. But even if they do, there are no hand of the gods to stop this one.
Meerkat trying to be sneaky. He didn't know he ran over a ward. Stealth is waiting for that. Famous Hate versus Barra. Barra losing the boxing match right now. Oh. Astro Arrows going straight through, connecting with Barra. Now, it's really just a game of who can bluff harder right now, or who can initiate better, which you'd be a fool to say that Jeff Hindla couldn't hit it very easily.
Omega getting real greedy here, looking for the double driving strike. In fact, not going to hit anyone. Mask Fearless is going to be down in red stance. He's going to be switching to blue here if he needs another Fearless.
Wow. Omega gets that. Big boulder, big damage. Famous Hate forced all the way out, waiting for the knock-up. Meerkat has Stealth, but Stealth has his help on the left side, top of your screen. Lawbringer forced out. Barracuda able to take out Jigs.
Jigs just got back.
Yeah, that was a collective effort to kill him.
He just rejoined that fight and immediately gets blown up. In fact, Cataclysm just came off.
Bro, he's got 1 stack on Hide of the Urchin. 1, as in uno, as in 1 more than 0.
At this point, the Spirit Robe would have been twice as effective in its place. Anister not tanking the Fire Giant effectively. Gonna double stack the mud here. Jeff Hindla in some trouble, but they still managed to take it down. Cloud9 with a pretty huge advantage here as we check the charts. Almost 10,000 gold.
Oh,
and then
no.
20k experience is getting very close as well.
Oh, no, that's not even what I was knowing. Isis was on the exact same timeline as Scylla in regards of when the Warlock Sash was built, and she still doesn't have it all the way stacked out yet.
In fact, the Book of Thoth has almost as many stacks right now. I almost wish I saw Stealth go do more of this game because he still has not died.
Yep. Stealth not worried about it, looking for the perfect game.
Meerkat once again going for a target with beads. Barracuda real quick on the draw, but that was a huge Cataclysm. Jigs with a big play there. They're going to find 2 kills real cleanly. 100% Jigs.
Look at Mask. Mask going for it. He's got the slow. He's going to get knocked up. He's going to get driving strike all the way back. Omega says, whatever. I'm going to stop for my teammates. This is well worth it. He will pay with his life, but he gets Jeff Hindla and Anninster out of there.
How much can they get off this? That's the question. How far can they bring this? The issue here, look at the mid-Phoenix. Can Meerkat take these down? Yes, the minions will spawn and draw the aggro. The Phoenix will be saved for now.
That's at least a tier 1, maybe a tier 2, if they decide to go.
It doesn't look like they're defending it. Andy actually going to the right side of the map.
He wants the speed buff, bro.
You know, but this is what the buffer is, right? I mean, this is what this 10,000 gold lead is going to do for them. Like, all right, here, take a few kills. Take the 3,000 gold that you're going to get total off of this. I'll go get my buffs. I'll meet you back for the defense. I still have Fire Giant. I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, what really sucks for them is it's 20 seconds for Gold Fury. And it looks like they are going to group up and wait on this to try to extend this lead. Fire Giant's not going to be up for 3 minutes and 15 seconds. They're actually not going to wait on the Gold Fury. I guess they don't have that timer.
Omega sitting at full build right now has finally gotten himself into a potion of magical might, almost 17,000 gold, 2k ahead of anyone else in this game right now, which include MLC Stealth and Meerkat, who are the next 2 highest net worths.
Yeah, this is what we see every single time out of Omega. Omega, with the exception of the matchup versus Divios, and even then he still shows excellence, everyone else, Omega just shows why he is a world champion. He just stomps.
Look at this Gold Fury. Completely uncontested. I think COG recognizes the fact that just because they won a team fight doesn't mean that they're going to win the war, and with that, they don't contend whatsoever. Free 1,500, going to go the way once again of Cloud9.
So, looking at it here, no Hasten Fatalis coming out of the Hunters. Ah, man. I was really hoping someone was going to do it. Hey, that's probably one of my favorite things that I've seen thus far.
Jeff right there getting some extra passive stacks up. It's going to be hard for him to get burst down immediately in the team fight. This is something I think that has been lacking, but he's going right for the preemptive strike every time, tanking it up cleanly. This tier 2 going to fall very quickly. No one is ready to contend this. Izon, no, I was going to say Isis, but she chooses not to go for the flank. Instead, will back off as Mask completely out of position here. Will run back to the base. They're going to try to defend the mid lane here. Remember that Phoenix is already debuffed, as all the while, right side, Omega looking to force the split push, giving advantage to Stealth.
It's a good play, too. Now, obviously, COG's going to see this, and they're going to go, well, do we want to engage this? And they're going to say to themselves, no. We have
but they can't afford it. They can't afford to defend the right when the mid is already debuffed. They're guaranteed to lose a Phoenix here if Cloud9 gets aggressive.
They have to. I think they're just kind of wait on this mid Phoenix. Jeff Hinla just going to walk straight in, hits the taunt on Famous Hate. No follow-up because Jigs jumps in with a Cataclysm of his own, deterring this fight just a little bit.
Yeah, they don't get much damage on the Phoenix there. Barra gets about 2 shots in before he's forced back. Even so, the Cataclysm is already on cooldown, as are the Cats. All 5 ultimates remaining for Cloud9, along with 2 Fire Giants.
Yep, the pull was good. Jigs is in a lot of trouble. Circle of Protection's going to be there as well. Jeff Hinla waiting on it.
Look
Jigs,
at the crush.
Yeah, that crush was perfect. Spirit Ball's not perfect, though, as it's barely going to miss. He could have triggered it and gotten one, but wasn't able to see that.
Omega's baits are unbelievable. He has forced so much damage onto himself and Jeff Hinla, which is not something you want to see. I mean, look at this. Again, they're throwing the spirit balls at Omega. This is a Hercules. He's just going to absorb that damage and just heal it right back. But it's surprising that we're not seeing them rush in here.
This is great positioning from Barracuda. All eyes on him. He's just using Omega and Athena as just bait. He's sitting all the way back as safe as possible. They realize, okay, that wasn't the best siege we could have done, so let's go back, get whatever we can, dominate the vision game, and get ready for this Fire Giant, which is up in 15 seconds.
Yeah, Jeff Hinla's going to back there. Will be able to use the teleport should he need to get back to the fight as quickly as possible. Barracuda, however, has not backed already with almost 1,600 gold in hand. This would not be enough for him to finish up the Deathbringer. He needs this mall camp. Once he gets this, Barra will back, but this is going to put the ball in the court of Cognitive Gaming. Should they choose to advance, it will be a power play.
Oh, look at this, too. I just noticed this. Jeff Hinla with the Heavenly Agility. Beautiful. One of the most underrated actives, flat.
It's the best active. That and beads. I mean, there should be a
See,
a few
you
beads.
can never say Heavenly Agility is better than beads.
Well, it is because, I mean, it's team slow immunity. One of them equals, what could be 2 or 3 sets of beads.
Okay.
Not to mention healing increase, albeit that's not going to be a huge increase for this team. It could do a lot. I mean, if the mitigate wounds is really big and they pop Heavenly Agility to exacerbate it, thought that was going to hit.
No.
Oh, that hit, though. Herwin taking a huge shot there. Tries to go for the max range. Doesn't find it. Boulder right over the wall. Oh, Herwin. See you later.
This is Curtains. Herwin. Rip.
Done. Andy's trading out, though.
Yeah.
Andy will fall here, it seems. Why is nobody killing him? Thank you.
I Am a Monster is going to be good. Omega gets a double kill again. Look at this blink. That's why you build combat blink on Scylla. She uses it aggressively, gets a kill, and now it's just up to tier. He's swinging. Meerkat's doing everything he can. Bulwark passive is going to be there. Passive. Wow.
That's got to be a surrender vote. There's nothing they could do to stop that one. Cloud9 going to take game 1. 38 minutes, though. Cognitive Gaming still a newer line. I've held their own a lot better than I thought they would, but still the World Champions endgame just a little bit stronger. Titan's going to fall.
Yep, 25% and dropping here. The final stats, XP 19,000, gold difference 11,000. Now, granted, the XP at 38 minutes is probably a little bit exaggerated,
Sure.
but the gold difference is... Whew. I mean, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen from COG, right? We're going to see him take the early gold Furies. We're going to see him do great at the mid-Harpies, but no team fights.
Speaking of the early game, let's take a look at the replay for First Blood. Now, for me, this kind of sets the pace of where MLC was going to go throughout this game, right? I mean, he was just unstoppable. Didn't die for like the first 30 minutes. And look at this. He jumps in with low health. Easy. throws the Sycamore in a position, and the line is the most important part. He blocked the path. Herwin's choice was stay where he was, get hit, move forward, get hit, or juke back into where we're going to kill you. Yeah. Either way, he was guaranteed dead there because MLC Stealth willed it.
Securing the kill is really huge, but for me, I look at it and I just go, wow, Omega just did so well throughout that entire time. But let's go ahead and take a look at the jungle camp here and see how these teams fared in the control of it.
Not a lot of invades.
Yeah, not a lot of invades, but look at this. I mean, we talked about the mid-harpy control at the beginning. Out of 34, COG only had 38%.
It's rough. You know, and all those little things that you're seeing on the bottom, those little slivers of red, they generally weren't invades. That was when, you know, they were fighting the Phoenix, they back off, take the jungle before backing. So, I mean, decent control from the early game, but again, this is COG. You know, they don't have that veteran teamwork just yet in the end game. A lot of them are ranked players, and when you're playing ranked, generally you're getting the first 10 to 20 minutes every single game. And I think that's the biggest weakness in players that aren't on, like, Cloud9 and Titan and all these teams that have been playing together forever. You don't get a great chance to practice your chemistry in the end game, and early game advantages wind up getting thrown because the teamwork isn't as strong and there's frustration. Hopefully they can shake it though going into game 2 because the champions are in a great position.
Yep. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the player of the game here. No shocker, it's Omega. The entire game 10-3. But the biggest thing about him was that he just took so much damage for his team.
I mean, this is Hercules. So it's insane to me that we haven't been seeing this character picked all the time. He destroys the assassins, maybe going even with Bakasura, right? But then every other matchup, he's either going even or winning. And Omega, while he was a little bit late on the rotations in the early game, right? Late to the Gold Fury, late to the mid camps a few times, he was absolutely instrumental in endgame pressure. Not only did he allow his team by his own sacrifice, one of those deaths is a sacrifice to get the Fire Giant, but the endgame pressure, I mean, when he just jumped in and immediately took that huge boulder to hit three. Look at this guy.
Dude, he's chasing people down. He's like Michael Myers. It's nuts how much
Chalk has
he
that
just...
skin.
Yeah, I know, but you get what...
Actually, that's Jason.
I
don't know the difference. I don't watch scary movies. They're scary.
Oh my God! Stop it! You're killing me.
All right, that's going to do it for Game 1, guys. We'll be back in a few minutes as we get ready for Game 2. Cognitive's down 0-1 right now, and they need to win this set. Stick around.
I hate